While there are many characters in the Invincible universe, none are as interesting as Adam Eve. Not powerful for conventional reasons, like super strength or invulnerability. Today, let's take a look at just how strong she really is and what makes her so. To do that, and do it justice, let's start at the beginning. Samantha Eve Wilkins was born to a mother who had been experimented on by a government agency, who further experimented on Eve herself in the womb. Her mother seemingly passed at her birth, she was swapped in the hospital, and taken home by her inadvertent foster parents. Displaying brilliant intelligence from a very young age, she began to develop her abilities. The very first example of this is the beginning of her most extraordinary power. While in her room and upset at her parents, she unexpectedly awakens her abilities. She rearranges the molecular structure of a book, paper, and leather into solid glass. Not only does she possess the ability to rearrange the molecules of any non-living being, but she seems to already have a pretty good handle on this ability from the get-go. Combining her intelligence with the appearance of her newfound ability, she is incredibly fast to adapt. She is almost immediately able to do it at will, and with some degree of control. Just days later, she can already manifest what appears to be the first iteration of her signature pink energy, frightening her friend in the process.
Stop! Stop! I said stop!
Shortly thereafter, she develops her control even further, already manifesting the pink energy she has shown using so often, creating a disc she can stand on to assist her in flying. After probably just a few minutes of practice, she is already high above the city, flying at high speeds. Just a few minutes later, she fully develops her ability to fly with the signature pink energy thrusters she uses throughout her adult superhero years. That is probably one of Eve's strongest abilities, not just the pink energy. Her ability to rapidly learn and adapt. Just days before, she wasn't even aware she possessed any powers. Just days later, she has almost complete control. We say almost because her first interaction with villains is a little wobbly. She takes out two goons robbing a dog shelter by rearranging the molecules in their masks into solid metal, leading them to hilariously escaping by dragging their now very heavy heads away from the scene. The first real supervillain she comes across is Kill Cannon. She once again shows just how far she is able to develop in just a short time. Now fully costumed, she is using her abilities to augment her fighting, equipping shields, using them as a weapon, and changing the molecules around Kill Cannon's feet. Ultimately, what wins her the fight is her brains and not her brawn, as she blocks his cannon from firing and it overloads and explodes. Her ability to adapt on the fly cannot be overstated. Sure, her abilities are incredible, but it's really how Eve wields them, which is truly her greatest gift. In her fight against the other experiments, we see her once again using her powers to augment her fighting, attaching a parachute to an enemy to blow them away. She is already, as a child, capable of handling multiple superpowered enemies at the same time. She creates a massive hole in the road when she is being overwhelmed, flies up and creates a massive explosion when she cannot shake them still, just to name a few new feats. This is also the first time we see her iconic pink armor suit. The final feat in the Adam Eve special is one of her most powerful abilities, one we only see once more in the entire show so far. Under moments of great stress, Eve can break the limitations put on her abilities, allowing her to rearrange the molecules of even living beings. She uses it to erase the minds of the people responsible for her real mother's death, but she states that she could have rearranged them completely, turning them into completely different people. Of course, that's an oversimplification. She could have turned them into anything: a tree, a lamp, or a puddle of goop. Eve, at her fully unlocked potential, is truly a force to be reckoned with, but we'll come back to that. Now that we have covered the basis of her abilities, how they function, and how she wields them, let's just go over a few of her feats from the main show. In Season 1, she goes up against Doc Seismic with Mark. While Seismic is definitely a more comedic character, he's definitely pretty strong himself. Leagues above Kill Cannon at least. Able to create earthquakes at will thanks to his earthquake bracelets, Eve works out that the bracelets are the source of his power almost immediately. She is able to use her abilities far more effortlessly now, but still struggles a bit, almost dropping a family into a chasm of lava. She and Mark ultimately win the day. After arguing with her parents, she moves out into the forest and is able to construct herself an entire treehouse in just moments. It's pretty luxurious too. Her abilities extend so far beyond just basic combat, it's not even funny. While her appearances are pretty sparse in Season 1, she gets a bit more screen time in Season 2. A big moment is coming as she and a squad of the new Guardians of the Globe fly out to meet the Martian warship. The ship is attacked, and thanks to Eve's quick thinking and her energy shield, she's able to save the entire team from dying in space, single-handedly making sure the whole team survives space in the explosion of the ship. Those shields are definitely not weak, but Eve still can't quite maintain it for very long. She is then able to get the team into the ship by moving them through the wall of the ship. In Season 3, once she and Mark have coupled up, she comes up with Invincible Inc., and she herself is out to protect the prison housing supervillains. She and Mark come up against Mr. Liu and Multi-Paul. Mr. Liu is a giant semi-immortal dragon in this state. She dons her armor and makes herself into a wrecking ball to swing at the dragon to a devastating effect. Showing off her brains, bronze, and durability, and just how far they have developed over the years. She also single-handedly stops Multi-Paul and the other escaping villains in their tracks, no small feat given how skilled Multi-Paul is at sealing all of them in cells of her making. The energy quickly transfers to solid stone. Once again, it's her smarts, not her powers, that let her win the fight. We also see her come up against not one, but two invincible variants. While she is injured in the fight, she stands her ground and is able to get a few blows in, helping Mark out quite a bit. She's come a long way since Season 1, from struggling against stock Seismic to being able to handle two Viltrumites at the same time, even if it was alongside Mark. But her final feat, and the latest one to date, is probably her most impressive. She goes toe-to-toe with Conquest, probably the utter pinnacle of Viltrumite fury and savagery. Not only does she manage to slow him down, but she takes him on alone and manages to get some solid shots in, increasing the density of the air molecules around him to stop him in his tracks.
What? I increased the density of the air.
Hitting him with an inventive chain combo that disorients him and taking several direct hits from him and surviving. Ultimately, she loses. But the fact that she stood against him for even a few seconds is nothing short of incredible. This is where we see the second activation of her full capabilities. While mortally wounded, her limiters break. She fully heals herself and hits Conquest with a devastating energy beam that sears the skin clean off of him, giving Mark the final opening he needs to win the fight. After all that, it's safe to say that Adam Eve is probably one of the strongest characters in the Invincible universe. We have covered everything she has done, but not everything she is capable of doing. With her powers, even without the limiters being broken, she is capable of raising entire cities, reorganizing entire ecosystems if need be. She could stop tsunamis, mend damage from earthquakes, just to speak about non-combat scenarios. But if she just got a little more inventive with her powers, she could be absolutely unstoppable. If during a fight with a powerful villain, she turned the air around them into activated plutonium, or hell, just split the atom right in their face, she could reduce the planet to ash if she felt like it. Then, there is what would happen if her limiters broke for good. She could reshape humanity, bring back extinct creatures, make new ones. No villain would be able to stand before her. She could just wish them away, rearranging them into nothing but air molecules in an instant, or rewrite their brains to be her servant if she wished. That's more so to speak on her morality than her limiters being broken. But Adam Eve is without a doubt a character with unlimited potential.